Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another J. Robinson Art Peiloff painting project. Today, we're actually going to be painting the kitty, or kitty cat. And what we provided you with in your kit, you should have 2 brushes, and we also provided you with a foam brush. We've given you an apron, paper towel, spatula, half a palette sheet, and the following colors: pink, blue, purple, white, and black. Now I've squeezed out my colors already, and I've actually squeezed out a lot more than we're going to use for this project. But we always like to provide you with that. What I don't suggest you do is squeeze the whole tubes out or the packets out. Just put out enough that you need, and you could always add more, because it's good to save them in case you want to enhance your painting and or create something totally different. This is the project for today. We're going to be painting a little bit of a background, then we're going to peel, and then we're going to be painting the elements of the cat. Now I'm going to be using my own brushes today. These are just a few of them, and I've showed you a foam brush that we provide you with in the kit to help you with the following. Because the first thing you're going to get is a cat that you're going to have to paint white. Now we've already provided you with the cat as it looks right here. This should probably be gray. And what you're going to do is use your foam brush and white just to paint over the entire canvas. And what you should come out with is something that looks like that. Here now we can begin our painting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the flat brush and I'm going to start laying in some color. Now despite that I already have white, I'm going to be adding just a touch more all the way around. Now you can actually use this to paint over the entire cat, and it's fine. Because what I want to do now is start setting up to introduce some of the background colors. So I'm going to put in some fresh white. Again, I'm painting over the peel, and it's fine. And then I'm going to start introducing some color. So at least you can see again how you would be painting your background white. For purposes of the video, I just wanted to try to expedite the process so the videos themselves aren't very long, but informative. Some of the most important things about painting is just to have fun, just to be free. Sometimes things go a little bit differently than you planned, and that's fine. You can deviate, especially once you understand the basics. But I try to provide you with the step-by-steps to paint the products or the projects that we give you. But you can always add your own. You could make a whole background here with books or tea kettles or pots and glasses in the background. You can do all kind of different things for your cat. That's the beauty of Peiloff. Okay, now that I have some white lavishly painted all over the canvas, let's start introducing some color. First color I'm going to pick up is going to be a little tiny bit of blue and a lot of white. So I want the color to be almost muted. I'm just going to take that and start splashing that around over here, around up here, and over here. Just being random, so I'm just letting the color kind of splash itself, and wherever it ends up, that's fine. Do the same thing with a tiny bit of pink. Maybe a little stronger. And just start introducing some of that along the sides here. Maybe even a little stronger. There. And maybe there's some that peeks out over here. We're just really making a random background of color. Maybe we'll come back and add some more to that. Leave it like this, kind of blend it in. Coming a little lower, let's pick up just a little bit more blue. Let's make it a little stronger. And maybe throw some of that right over here, maybe right over here. Now you see I'm staying off the interior of the cat. I'm trying to paint on its edges only because I want to keep the inside as white as I can. But if you should add color, let's say by accident, you could always take some white and soften it up or paint right back over it. So never worry about, like I was trying to say, what you would call an accident. I like to call something that maybe should have happened. You just didn't know it at the time. Now we're going to introduce a little purple. Make this a little strong. And I'm just going to put this towards the base area. Just grab some purple, there you go. And I'm just going to introduce some of that right along over here, along by his feet. Maybe some more right over here along by his feet. See? Just introducing color. I'm just not even using water. I'm just going to wipe it on a paper towel and then softly blend this back in. I just want to try to make it so you can't tell where one color stops and the next color begins. Soften it up a little bit. See? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just clean off the brush a little bit. A cup of water that I have off camera. I like to call that ringing the bell. Because I think I'm going to take the opportunity just to add a little bit more coloration to maybe this top area over here. Oh, that looks really nice. I like that. Oh, yeah. See what I mean? You just make it up as you go along. Let's enrich this other side over here a little bit. Just a tad bit more pink. Yeah, look at that. Just in some areas. Just in some areas. We can leave it soft. We don't want it to be hard. Let's wipe this off. Let's pick up some very strong purple and let's add that in. See if we can't darken this area up just a little bit more. Since it's closer to the bottom. Let's just darken this up. Okay. Now let's clean this off and then let's softly blend this in. And when I say blend it in, I'm just touching the edges a little bit, just working the brush around, see, to kind of blend it in, let the colors mix together so that there's no real hard, definitive line. Let's clean off the brush, ring the bell, wipe it on a paper towel, get it nice and dry. Then let's go back in. Yeah, I love my brushes though. And soften them up. These brushes have helped me paint some of the most beautiful paintings, and no matter that they break or whatever, I refuse to get rid of them. They're part of my family. There we go. Let's just soften this up a little bit. Okay, that looks good. Now, before we start peeling the cat, I want to take some black. I'm just going to run a line, but I'm going to stay very, very close to the bottom. But I'm going to pretend that the cat is sitting on something. So let's just put a line here on one side. Put a line here on the other side. And then I'm going to respectfully just fill that in with this black. And let it turn gray or whatever it's going to do. That's fine. The key that I'm trying to show you here is you want to make a straight line, but you don't want to paint into the cat itself. Not yet. You want to keep those colors moving, but like this. Just touch a little bit. There. See? And it makes it look like the cat is sitting with some ground or something going behind him or her. It's a cat. It can be anything gender that we want. There. Just going to sweep this in. That's fine. I'm going to let those colors stay just like they are, too. I'm not going to try to darken them up or anything. I'm just going to leave them. Just trying to get rid of the brush marks. There, that's perfect. That's good. Clean off my brush again. Ring my bell. Wipe them off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the peel. But before we remove the peel, let's just make sure we have enough white for our cat's body. And then I'm going to show you how you're going to actually decorate it. Now, the really cool thing about this cat is he's predominantly painted right now. And to show you what I mean, and you can let yours dry if you like. And then you can go back and add whatever you want. All right, so by taking a spatula and holding it like so, what you'll have is a nice grip. And we're just going to be using any one of these edges to flip it up. And as I was saying, you could actually let your canvas completely dry before you do this next part. But for purposes of the video, I want to just keep moving. So I'm just going to grab anywhere that I could start to get a peel, like here, see? As long as I get something underneath. And what I've done for you by painting the canvas black for you is I've given you, ta-da, a large portion of the cat. that's already completed. Now it's very small parts, so it could rip, but that's okay. You can just make sure you just keep pulling until you get every single piece up. And what you're going to end up with is a beautiful, beautiful silhouette of your cat for you to finish off. And we're going to be detailing them in one moment. See, I've given you literally, there's another piece right here. You just go inside and scrape that a little bit. And there's our basic image of our cat. Now we're going to go in and finish the cat up. You just get this last piece up. There's the entire peel. Now we're going to go into some decoration of the cat itself. So I'm going to switch to this fine line brush. The first thing that I'd like to do is reestablish this chin area. So I'm just going to take a little little white with a touch of black and make it kind of a gray. Just a very light gray to start with. And what this color is going to do for me is help me put in some tone around his face. Let's make it a little bit darker so you can see for purposes of the video there. See the gray? Now I'm just painting in, but I'm also trying to connect and get rid of the hard line that I made for you, which would be the cat's chin. So I'm going to come down here a little bit. And then maybe on the other side, I'll do the same thing where I connect them like so. And also add in the shadow that's going to represent underneath the cat. And I'm going to put the shadow all the way around here. And then what I'm going to do is very carefully, very slightly, start to close off that black gap. Just enough that you can see the face, but I get rid of that hard black line. See? See how I softened that in a little bit and left some of the line to show the cat's face down at the bottom? Now I'm going to take some white and go back in here and just kind of soften this color value up just a little bit. Just a little bit. This is where you get to see how to create, even though I've given you an outline, but you're painting this part. You're putting in the shadow underneath the cat's face. See? And by softening it up, you can always go back and add and take away and add and take away, but I'll show you more. Let's just take some more black and white, a little bit of gray tone value, and let's pull some color down at the bottom. But this time I'm going to feather it a little bit. So I want it to look like fur here. So I'm just going to create a shadow, see? Just make a little shape sort of like that. And I'm going to do a little bit down in here too. I'm just going to pick maybe right here, and I see where his paws are splitting. So I'm just going to add a little shadow just to give the impression that there's 2 feet down here. You see that? How cool is that? And now why don't we take and look at some of this and maybe put another value of gray and white. And I'm actually going to go on the black itself and maybe right in this earlobe, I'm going to put a little gray that kind of connects into the ear like so. And maybe a little gray that connects into this ear like so. I'm painting right on the black now. And maybe right in the middle of his head, there's a little bit of a gray that comes down right here. And then let's put some on his body. Let's look at the shape and say, okay, over here, he might be kind of fuzzy over here a little bit. See, I'm just going to add a little gray value, make some little swirly lines here to represent maybe his upper back. I'm going to grab some more, and maybe I'll sweep some color completely over here where his tail kind of tucks underneath him or goes behind him. We don't know. He's our cat, but we don't know. And maybe there's another little bit of activity or shadow right over here. And then maybe we'll go over here and add some. So you see what we're doing? We're putting the shadows like right on the black area. Take a little bit more. And maybe there's some around his eye up here. Maybe there's a little bit of like shadow color that just kind of shapes his head up there. And maybe even over here. You know, you just add in the shadows and maybe a couple of lines right there. Who knows? Like that. You're just giving the cat like this random set of patterns. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of just a little bit of the white so I can make some very distinct lines that maybe look like this. See? To help emphasize that. And maybe there's a couple over here. It's a shadow that comes all around his leg. Who knows? But you see what I've done is I've added all of this decoration to the cat to help emphasize where some of his fur might be or some of the shadows on the cat might be. And this is what you're doing. You're just randomly picking little spots and saying there. See how we did that? As a matter of fact, why don't we do this too? Let's grab a little bit of this white and come from the opposite side over here and help redefine this area. Just trying to make a connection here for you. See? And then thin this line down just a bit with just white. See how we start to build our cat's face a little bit better and we get rid of that hard black line, because that was just there to help you see where the cat's face separates. But now you can kind of make a lot of it disappear because you just need a small remnant like that to give the cat's facial body. Why don't we do a little bit of gray around his nose? So let's grab a little white, mix a little black, and maybe here we're going to just pinch back a little line, maybe another little line to help define his nose. And maybe there's a shadow that just runs right along the top of the cat's nose like that. Maybe even in his eye, we'll take a little bit of this gray and not the whole of the eye, but maybe just on the outside of the eye. We do this to give the pupil, see? Like so. Look at that. Now we have that look. Pretty cool, right? Cat's 90% finished. I'm going to switch now to my longer script liner brush, which you would have in your kit. Not this particular one, but you'll have a nice one. And what I'm going to do is mix a little bit of black. I want it to be thin, so I want that water. A little bit of black, a little bit of white to make a gray. And then I'm just going to twirl the brush like so. I'm going to twirl it right into the black and make a thicker gray. But I want it to be almost the consistency of ink. And I want it to be really thin because I want to come right along his face here and just maybe take and whisk off some whiskers. See, just maybe cross over some whiskers that look like that. So on one side, and then just grab some maybe right over here and just pull some whiskers. Look at that. Pull in some whiskers. See that? Just pull some whiskers from the cat. Maybe go in a little closer. Like so. We got a few whiskers on our cat. And I want to go back and redefine that eye a little bit. So I'm going to put some straight black. And maybe go inside and just make a little bit more of a circle here. And a circle here. Just to give me my eyes back. And then maybe from that, I take a touch of white and maybe drop a couple of dots. A dot here and a dot here. And maybe there's a little bit of a highlight right there. See? See how my cat's personality is changing? And then maybe I can work on his mouth just a little bit. Take some of this edge off. And just make him look about like that. And there's my cat. There's my kitty cat. And that's how easy it is with peel off. And the fun part about this is this. You don't have to paint it exactly like I did. You could have fun adding your own values. You can go back wherever you feel that it needs a little bit of enhancement. Let's say you wanted to make it a little bit darker purple, and just go in and make some purple darker. Just go near the body, but don't touch it. And then feather up a little bit. Blend it out a little bit. See how that value changed from this side to this side? And then you can add a little bit on this side just to balance it back out. You can go in and rechange the shadows on the cat itself. You can enrich the purple or the pink. You can soften up the line that's underneath the chin. I mean, there's so many things you can do here, but there's your cat. And it's already painted, and I hope you had fun. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that this way, when we make new videos, you'll be one of the first to get them. As well as give us a like or a thumbs up or a comment. And you can go to peiloff.com to see all of our different projects. Well, I hope you had fun. Thank you for letting me paint with you. And we'll paint together again very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.